do you know the word determination factors? Today, I want to talk about determination factors. Determination factors are literally factors which determine your result. Knowing what determination factors of long distance running and marathon is very important because if you don't know it, you could put your effort on something does not affect your race result much. Whilst if you know what the determination factors are, you can put more emphasis on important determination factors. So, you can get better results with the same effort and at least your efforts are not in vain. So, today, let me explain what the important determination factors of long distance running and marathon. First of all, what determines a result is called determination factors. It could be a factor, but also it could be factors. What determines a result is not always one factor. Rather, in most cases, there are several or many factors which determine a result. Race result, exam result, business result, love result, friendship result, war result, etc. Then, what are determination factors of middle and long distance running and marathon? Or what inhibits our ideal performance? Roughly speaking, there are only two factors which inhibit our race performance. First, limited energy production. How fast we are able to run a certain distance depends on how much energy we can produce at a given time. For example, at a minute. The energy we need during running is produced in muscle cells. Very often people think the energy which we need during running is produced in lungs, heart, or stomach. But it's wrong. The energy is produced in muscle cells. The more energy our muscle cells are able to produce at a minute, the faster we are able to run from 800 meters to full marathon. This is the most important determination factor. So, in middle and long distance running, it is not much about running technique. Running technique is also one determination factor, but there are not many variations of running style, right? In tennis, soccer, or baseball, there are many techniques you need to practice. But in middle and long distance running, there are not many techniques. Extremely speaking, if you are able to run to the right forward without falling, it's enough. And the second biggest determination factor is how well your body is able to resist acidosis. Acidosis is acidification. Although I don't know much about the public education in your country, not much about but at all, I don't know it at all. In Japan, in elementary schools, we do litmus test. Litmus test is done by using a litmus paper. If a liquid drops on the litmus paper and the color becomes red or pink, the liquid has acids, and the color becomes blue, the liquid has base. In other words, alkaline. And for all live bodies, there are optimal temperature and optimal pH for metabolism. pH stands for potential hydrogen. Anyway, in Japan, we call it pH, and pH stands for potent hydrogen in German. We very often use German words in medical area and biological area. Anyway, and it is a number which shows its number shows how acidic or how basic it is. Being acidic means it has more hydrogen ions than hydroxide ions, while being basic means it has more hydroxide ions than hydrogen ions. Our human being's metabolism works the best when it's a little bit basic. However, if we use anaerobic metabolism, hydrogen ions are produced in our bodies, meaning inside of our bodies get more acidic. The more acidic our bodies get, the more metabolism gets inhibited. And that means we can produce less energy at a minute. This is the reason why we are forced to slow down in the second half of a race if we start out too fast. If we start out too fast, by the time we reach at the half point, inside of our bodies are already too acidic and metabolism does not work well anymore. We cannot change this mechanism no matter how good runner you are. Even if you are a world record holder, you cannot change the mechanism. So, even a world record holder, if he or she starts out too fast at the beginning of a race, that runner is forced to slow down in the second half of the race. The same thing happens in training. If you make the first 5 1000 meters of 10 times 1000 meter interval workout too fast, you are forced to slow down in the last 5 1000 meter of the workout. So, again, you cannot change this basic mechanism. However, even if the same amount of hydrogen ions is accumulated in two runners' bodies, one runner gets slower and another runner can stay in the same pace. Or one runner gets slower just a little bit and another runner gets slower dramatically. By repeating running speed, which requires anaerobic metabolism, your body can resist much hydrogen ions gradually. And the most important thing is, if you run a short distance, you get tons of hydrogen ions in short time. Your body doesn't need to resist a long duration of acidosis, while your body needs to resist much amount of acidosis in short time. While if you run a long distance, like half marathon or full marathon, your body doesn't need to resist much amount of acidosis in short time. But your body needs to resist a little bit acidosis for a long time. For a longer time. This is a relative, right? Not absolute. Anyway, now let me explain the law of specificity shortly. The law of specificity is your body adapts to the stimulus specifically. So, here's a law of specificity comes. If you prepare for a middle distance race like 800 meter or 1500 meter, you need to get your body experience much amount of acidosis in short time. And if you prepare for a half marathon or full marathon, you need to get your body prepared for less amount of acidosis at a certain time, but longer duration of acidosis. Many researchers and coaches concluded that in marathon races, you didn't need anaerobic metabolism. But based on my many tests, it's wrong. We use anaerobic metabolism at marathon race pace too if we are experienced runners. In other words, if you have enough endurance ability, you use anaerobic metabolism at marathon race pace. On the other hand, if you do not have much endurance, your body doesn't need anaerobic metabolism at your marathon race pace. In these two cases, key determination factors are a little different. But now, I won't talk about it more. Let me go back to the topic of acidosis. A more important question here is, how do we know how much we get acidic? The simplest way is measuring blood lactate concentration level, because before hydrogen ions are produced in our bodies, blood lactate is always produced. So basically, the relationship between the concentration level of hydrogen ions and lactic acid is proportional. Again, basically, it's not 100% proportional because a part of blood lactate is processed in the mitochondria. In mitochondria. One mitochondrion and many mitochondria, right? And we have many mitochondria in our bodies. Anyway, in other words, in aerobic metabolism, it's processed, lactic acids are processed in aerobic metabolism. And this is the third determination factor for distance runners and marathon runners. The ability of processing lactic acids and producing energy as using lactic acids as fuel. The better this ability you have, the longer distance you can sustain the pace with using anaerobic metabolism. And the longer distance race you do, the more important this determination factor is. Above 3 determination factors are very important, all middle and long distance runners and marathoners. However, its ratio is different. You need to develop a little bit metabolic system according to your, you need to develop a bit different metabolic system according to your race distance. But never miss this fact out. All distance runners and marathoners need to develop the same system basically. So, it's very normal. Elite sprinters are not good at 1500 meter and at a completely novice level at a full marathon, because determination factors of sprinting and 1500 meter race and full marathon race are completely different. While it's impossible that sub-210 marathoner cannot run an 800 meter race under 2 minutes. I've never heard of that, and I don't believe that. It's impossible, because basically what you need to run a full marathon fast and what you need to run 800 meter fast are same. But again, it is a bit different. So, if you want to be a great 800 meter runner, you need a slightly different approach from great marathoners. Does that mean the best workout is always repeating the target race pace as long as possible? The answer is no. Again, if you want to adapt to the training stimulus well, the stimulus should be not too strong. In other words, you should not get too tired from the specific workouts. You can recover from that workout and you need to repeat it. You should recover from that workout and you need to repeat it. Race-specific workouts are so hard. So, if you repeat it too often, you cannot recover from it. And the training load becomes too high and you fail to adapt to it. So, it is crucial to know you need to develop recovery ability first if you want to adapt to the training stimulus well. What if you do race-specific workouts too much? I'll give you 2 examples. In Japan, track races begin from March in every year, but important championships are held in June and July for high school students, but a lot of students do race-specific workouts from March because races start in March. And additionally, they do races. As a result, they do too much race-specific workouts. By the time they go for important championships, they are no longer peaking. They are not in top shape anymore. Their shape goes down. Another example is, a lot of amateur runners do too much race-specific workouts from the autumn, because road races and marathon races begin from the autumn in Japan, and additionally, they do races. As a result, sooner or later, their shape goes down drastically. Not by a little bit, but drastically, because the longer your race distance is, the bigger impact race-specific workouts and races affect your body. Of course, I also experienced this kind of thing in my life too. In recent days, the vice president of my company did this too. He ran a full marathon 229 in November in 2025. He won the Honolulu Marathon in his category 30s male, and ran the Beppo Oita Marathon in February in 228. And continued specific workouts for a half marathon. And finally, his body didn't recover from those race-specific workouts and races. He ran a half marathon 74 minutes, 6 minutes slower than his personal best time. There's no meaning to travel for running 6 minutes slower than his personal best time. I'll give you also my experience in 2014. I ran a half marathon 63:09 in January, 2 half marathons in 64 minutes, and finally I ran 68 minutes in March. My body didn't recover well anymore from race-specific workouts and races which I had done in this period. Based on my experience as a coach and an athlete, specific training period must be 6 weeks maximally. 10 weeks specific training period is worse than no specific training period at all. But of course, better than nothing. I mean, a little bit specific workouts is always a good idea. So, the sweet spot is from 2 weeks to 6 weeks. Anyway, now let me summarize everything. If you want to run faster from 800 meter to full marathon race, the biggest 3 determination factors are: first, how much biological energy you can produce at a given time, usually at a minute. Second, how much acidosis your body can resist. And third, how well your aerobic metabolism can process lactic acids. That's it, folks. Lastly, if you want to learn more about how to run faster, please click the link below to download my free ebook, 3 things you should know to run faster dramatically without any injuries and overtraining. Thank you for your watching, and bye for now.
我は嵐し我が敵は我が身に潜む臆病像これに打ち勝つ我が筒は心に秘めたる国旗心国旗の心を持つ者はなどて恐るることやある鬼人に恥じぬ勇持ちて我らはいかん心して立つ時こそは今なるぞ人に遅れて恥かくないざますら音なるまでは走れや走れもろともに滴る汗を光らせてなどてたゆとことやある白血戦に鉄より固き心持つ修繕この肩すたれたる大和のこの今さらにまた世に譲る身の誉れ嵐しここに集いたり叩き心のいい鉄に嵐し魂あるものの時こそ来たれれいいか一歩も後に引くなかれいざますら音なるまでは走れや走れもろともに滴る汗を光らせてなどてたゆのことやる前を望めば苦難なり右も左もまた苦難み空の月を見上げては七難八苦を望むのも我らが力試すため常に前へと意地を見せん闘魂もゆる嵐しの気をここに今見よや人生意気に感じては聖碑を誰かあげつらういざますら音なるまでは走れや走れもろともに滴る汗を光らせてなどてたゆと